Psalm 57. This is a psalm that was written or composed by David when he was hiding in the cave from Saul. Huge limestone cave, and he went right into the back of it to hide with his men, and Saul came in and spent the night sleeping in the mouth of the cave. So he was silent there, but he says, I cried out to God Most High in his mind. And he talks about how close he felt to God, how I took refuge in the shadow of your wings. I felt I was actually between the cherubim wings that are over the ark, over the mercy seat, where the glory of God and the presence of God was there. And he feels he's there with God. But, he says, my soul is among lions. I lie among those who are set on fire, even the sons of men whose teeth are spears and arrows and their tongue a sharp sword. I think he's talking about his own men. He's living with outlaws, rough guys who are unspiritual people. Those who are in debt, those who had a chip on their shoulder with society. And they wanted to kill Saul. And he says, no, don't kill Saul. No, let him be. And so you have here a wonderful picture of a spiritual man living or lying down that night amongst bitter people, men who were not spiritual. But he in his mind is there, as it were, beneath the wings of the cherubim, over the ark, in the most holy place, in the actual presence of God. So we are all surrounded to some degree by unspiritual people, by people of the world. And you can easily feel, well, how can I ever have intimacy with God when I'm surrounded by these kind of people? Well, David was. He says, I lie down among those who are set on fire with bitterness, who speak with rough, sharp, unpleasant words. He's talking about as he lay down with his men at the back of the cave very quietly all through that night, so that Saul and his men didn't hear that there were other people hiding deeper in the cave. And yet he was in the very presence of God and crying out to God in his own mind. You can have that intimacy with God, regardless of whether the people with whom you live are unbelievers, unspiritual people. You can have it for the asking and for the taking.